The ability to talk to girls is one of the most vital skills a man can have, yet so many never even try. A lot of them complain, I don't know how to talk to girls, girls are too hard to talk to, yet they have never done it before. And so, even though what they're saying is true, it's not like you can't get better at it. And the ability, because it is an ability, everything in this world is a skill. Same thing with this. How to talk to girls is a skill. The ability to be able to convey yourself in an attractive manner through your verbals, through your physicals, is going to be an immense skill. Such a valuable skill that I'm teaching it right now to you. So, how to talk to girls. This is for you. This is for introverted guys. You don't know how to talk to girls. You've never done it before. Maybe you've done it a couple times. Maybe you talk to some girls, but you don't talk to them in a romantic way. You talk to them in a platonic way right now. So I'm going to be telling you how to talk to girls in a flirty manner. How to talk to them in a way that is actually interesting and a way that makes them look at you like you are dateable material. Now, this will work on every single girl who finds you somewhat attractive. If a girl does not find you physically attractive to begin with, you have to work on that. If a girl does not find you emotionally attractive, either because of previous experiences she has had with you, the only thing you can do right now is act like a confident guy. Do not worry about the past. Do not worry about anything else. Be the confident guy as much as you can right now. And if she still, whoever you're talking to, or if this is a new person, does not appreciate that, then move on with your time. There's no need to, try to talk to girls if the girl makes it very clear she does not want to talk. So, without further ado, how do we talk to girls? Now, I have a lot of experience with this because I've worked in jobs and I have talked to a lot of girls. It's like literally what I do. So for the last 2 years, I would say not much this year, but 2 years ago, basically I'm going to the club every weekend. Friday, maybe even Saturday, every weekend. I'm going out on the weekdays too. And every single time I'm going out, I'm talking to new girls. I'm talking to new guys, not in a sexy way, but just like in a what's up, bro kind of way. But I'm talking to new girls in flirty ways. I'm testing new things. I'm talking to them in longer conversations. I remember stories from me going to, should I say this? Okay, yeah. Me going to Grand Bend. This is a nice place in Canada. Nice place. And where a whole bunch of more younger people go. And there I had a lot of practice talking to girls in a very cold, approachy way. Where it's like, I have no idea who you are, but I'm just going to go up and have good energy and we're just going to connect and good stuff is going to come from that. I also worked a job where a lot of girls around my age also work there. So it's not even that you speak to them all in a flirty way. It's just you get different, when you're with these types of people for these long amount of times, you get to know people more personally and you get to be able to show more of your personality and you just get a whole bunch of different views and dynamics on the relationships between guys and girls. So my experience, how to talk to girls. How to talk to girls. Step 1. If you can. Now, I know. I said charisma is the king, and it is. It literally is. But if you are so unattractive, fix that first. And what I mean by that, it takes a lot to be super unattractive. It takes a lot. It means you are, first of all, it means your smell. That needs to be fixed. RN. I'm going to put this in red because it's big. The smell. It needs to be fixed. If you smell like anything that's not sun signs and rainbows, that needs to be fixed first. Put on deodorant. Put on a cologne every time you go out. Second is going to be your skin. I'm telling you, we have not even gotten into the talking part yet. Yet you need to fix this. I've not even gotten into the talking part yet. I'm still talking about basic things that need to be fixed. These go for girls too. Don't think like guys have it hard. If a girl smells bad or has like horrible skin, like, dude, she's just not gonna look attractive. It's just how it is. Don't mind these holes in my shirt. I got into a fight with a honey badger. He whipped my ass. Number 3. Maybe now we're getting into the speaking part. Nope. Posture. We're 3 steps in. We're 3 layers deep, 3 levels deep. We have not even talked about talking. But this is stuff you have to fucking work on first. It just is how it is. You must work on your smell, your skin, your posture. Posture is just how you carry your body. Are you standing up like this when you speak? Are you talking like this? Or don't worry about talking. Don't even worry about talking. Are you just moving like this? There is confident, attractive body language that makes girls just go like, why the fuck? Who is that guy and why is he walking like that? Now, do not exaggerate it. Do not exaggerate it like that. There's no need to do that, right? If you just want to, if you just want an argument or you want to fight, sure, do your Conor McGregor walk. But do not exaggerate it on just like everyday things. Walk. Just do not walk poorly. You don't have to walk amazingly. It's just like chess. In chess, you're not trying to make the best godlike moves. You're just trying to make you're trying to make moves that do not blunder, that do not take away advantage, that do not make you lose in any way, right? So it's not that you have to be amazing. It's just you don't have to suck. You can get away with slightly better. You don't have to be the absolute best Terminator walking. You're okay. And even so, that's too much. Walk loosely. Walk with your chest out, arms back. Open body language is attractive. Subconsciously, humans find it attractive and confident when people have the torso, the front body of them exposed. They have their neck exposed. If I'm just standing here like this, or so on my job, I used to have a supervisor position, and so I would have to stand and just kind of watch people. Just see if anything needed help or anything like that. And the positions I would assumed were very confident, just because I was practicing this shit. So I would stand like this sometimes, hands up, not at the people going out. You have a nice day. You have a nice day. Hands on the hips. Nice day, nice day. And here, because your body language is just so exposed, everything's just out. You're not trying to hide anything, and it shows. First of all, confidence that you're not trying to hide anything, authenticity that you're not trying to hide anything, but at a different level, the person who is concealing themselves, a person who is like holding back a little bit, that person has something more to hide, really, and that person seems more scared. If I'm always out in the open, I'm just like living life how I'm living it, that means like I'm not scared of you trying some stuff at me because I'm just so confident in myself, I can lean back and enjoy myself. I'm not worried about someone all the time, right? Just because I'm so capable, I can lean back. I know I'm just like everyone's friend. I can lean back, just be chill. That's all that is going into your posture. That's like subconsciously, we have thousands of years of talking. When you think about it, human to human, sigma to sigma, humans have only been talking like verbally for like, I don't know, 50,000 years? I don't know if that's even right. Let's just say 50,000 years. Let's just say 100,000 years. Humans as species, genetics, as creatures have been around for millions of years. Think about our monkey ancestors, right? We've just evolved from them. It's not like we just spawned out of nowhere. We evolved from them. Our brain literally evolves back to front. So I think the back of our brain is like parts of like our visual or some shit like this, right? And then over here we have more complex things. We have like emotions and we have bullshit like this, right? Our brain evolved too along with us. It developed. That's why our brains are so fucking big. But at that beginning part, at that back part, the very primal, like I'm talking millions of years of primal, like this is where we evolved, where there was no talking. It was purely, everything was pure body language. It was pure visually what you see. It was physical what you touch. It was nothing emotional. And so things were communicated with posturing, with facial expressions, so much so. And that still lingers into our brains today. It just simply does, very heavily. Posture. So even at my work, I know I'm talking about this a lot, but there was a guy, I'm not going to say any names, but there was guys who walked more unconfidently versus guys who walked confidently. No matter what they looked like, the guy who walked confidently was viewed as more confident, sexy. The guy who walked unconfidently was shy and less attractive. And in their visuals, you would only notice it by their body language. When you talked about their voice and their speaking abilities, somehow, apparently, the guy with the bad body language also was way more shy. Versus the guy with the good body language, he was a bit more confident. He was way more confident. And, well, that just makes sense, right? That just makes sense. What's on the inside is expressed through what's on the outside. Posture. And you want to express that you're confident on the inside, that you know that you have shit going on in the inside. Not that you have shit going on. You have, like, you know, good stuff in your life going on, that you love your life and stuff. That's all into your posture. We have not even gotten into the talking yet. Talking. Tone and pace. Tone is going to be, you know, I have a strict tone, I have a happy tone, I have a sad tone, I have a joyous tone. The only tone that you really do not want to have, and there's a couple, but the biggest one is a supplication. Your supplication must not equal your tone. And a tone that sounds like it's supplicating is one that seems like it's seeking for one's approval. Yes, I definitely could do that. And what you'll notice in these tones is that you'll see a lot of upward swings and a lot of unsureness, which is not masculine. The masculine is sure of himself. Yes, I want that. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know what my goal is, and I know how to get it. Masculine. There are things that are going to throw me off. I know where I'm going. And I know how to get there. But when you're speaking like this, and it just sounds like you're not sure of yourself, and especially when you're talking to a girl, and she's asking you questions. Do you like the gym? Yeah. Yeah. Even not only my tone, but my face right there was supplicating. Yeah. Right? Trying to please her. This is supplication. Trying to please someone else. It's not authentic. This does not equal authentic. Authentic. And you want to be authentic because authenticity is attractive. The pace at which you're speaking also matters too. You want to not speak as fast as you do. You want to speak a bit slower. You want to have the pace at which you're speaking to be one in which you can think about your thoughts, allow them to come at your own pace. For some people, like my friend, his name is Evan, he speaks very fucking slowly. It makes me want to kill myself, genuinely, because of how slow he speaks sometimes. But, you know, I allow him to get his thoughts out, even though I'm, like, sitting there just wanting to, like, jump up and down, just like, oh my God, tell me. But that's just how he speaks. Some people speak very, very quickly. Ben Shapiro, other people. When you're speaking to a girl, though, what you want to do is just keep this pace at a reasonable pace, whatever you think that is, but then just make it a bit slower. Whatever you think is a reasonable pace. So if you usually, genuinely think that you speak fast, well, you would think a reasonable pace is a bit slower. And whatever you think that is, go a little bit slower than that. And that is where I want you to practice at. when you're speaking to people now. So how do you do that? You go up to someone you don't know and you go, hello, sir. How are you? It will feel very weird and cringe, but oh well, get over it. And then, he says something. Do you know where the washroom is? Oh, thank you. And then you do whatever you do. And that is just how you practice it. Now that is very extreme. There's nothing bad about that interaction, but it's a bit extreme in how slow you are speaking. Hey sir, you know where the washroom is? Okay, thanks. Right. A lot more human to human. But to practice slowing down your pace, that is what I would do. Because what you're practicing in that situation is slowing down your pace in a tension-filled environment. When you're speaking to a girl, guess what you're going to be feeling? Tension, a little bit of nervousness. And so by putting yourself in that environment already, simulating that environment, and then slowing down your pace, when you're speaking to the girl, you're now able to have some sort of a tangible memory that you can recall back to and really ground yourself into that to bring that pace down. To understand, maybe I am speaking a bit quickly here. What speaking at your own, timely manner does is you're not trying to rush your words for anyone, which means that you value your words. If I did not value my words, I would try to spit them out as quickly as I can. So, I would stop talking. But if I value what I say, respect that I have something of importance to say, then I'm going to take my time to form it in a way that I think is the best. Even right now, I can stop and pause and say, and I do that a lot. But right now I'm very conscious of it. And so I'm just not making I'm not making likes, I'm just taking silent pauses. That is also what you want to do. Make pauses instead of and likes. Once you can do these three, I would say probably the most important in your speech itself. If you can practice each one of those individually, I feel like that would be the best. Now, at my job, I got to speak to a lot of people. I was in customer service. I got to speak to a lot of people. That is the best way for any person to learn social skills. If you work at a front desk, if you work on a call on a phone, and maybe not a phone, but if you work anywhere where people are just coming back and forth, bro, that God has handed you maybe the greatest opportunity to work on your social skills. Tone, pace, pauses. So this is going to be pauses. It's like I'm not taking I'm not doing likes. I'm just pausing, thinking, going. Tone, how is my voice being? Is it supplicating? We don't want that. We want our tone to be sure, happy, just not like a bitch. And then pace, of course, just slow it down a little bit if you can. Okay, let's get into the actual talking part, which is probably what you guys came here for, but I do not care. These are more important. How do we talk to the girl? Talking. Whew, all right. So when I was practicing flirting with girls, there was a lot of lessons I learned. A lot of these lessons hurt me. A lot of these lessons made me feel like Superman, like amazing. One of the funnest things was doing this stuff and actually having the girls I would talk to slowly kind of like me. And because of that, because I was slowly becoming more confident, they slowly were becoming more attracted to me. And that was one of the most amazing things to see happen in progress. It's the same as going to the gym, lifting weights and seeing your muscles grow bigger, seeing the weight you have go up or going down based on what you like, getting that progress. That is an amazing feeling to a man, to anyone, but to a man personally, because that is him achieving his goals. Talking is going to be the hardest part of this. I would probably say this and this, because this you can work out on home. This you can work at home. This you can work at home, but it's going to be different when you're in front of other people. going to be different when you're in front of other people. This is going to be way fucking different when you're in front of other people talking. So I really need you guys to take what I'm saying here with extreme caution, because not everyone here is going to be able to do the things that I did. Not everyone is going to be comfortable with the things that I did. So practicing your talking. If you're at a point where you haven't talked to many girls yet, and when you go to talk to any girl for anything about anything, and you're already nervous. I was like at this point, but I was like at that point times 100. About right. I was at that point, but like times 100. Once you're at that point, once you're at this level, you just need experience talking to human beings. Now, some of you are going to be in that place where you have not talked to a single person in your life, and it's going to be very hard for you just to talk to strangers in general, let alone flirt with the girls. However, and that's where some of you need to start. However, some of you are going to have some capability of actually talking to girls. Either maybe you grew up with sisters in your house, you grew up with other women in your house that were around your age, and so it's not like the most scariest thing to you. In this case, there are two things you can talk about, and both of these are good. One is just kind of normal talking, and this is going to build rapport. But while we're talking normally, which should be like the overcast of the conversation is just a regular conversation, you want to interject, however, elements of flirting. Casually, in between, you want to interject a little bit of flirtation. This is going to make it man to woman. This is going to get the conversation have actual emotion into it. So emotion that will make a woman attracted. So when we're just talking, this can be about like guys. You can talk about to this about other guys too. It's just to whoever. This is just good conversational skills. You want to talk about people's interests, their hobbies, their foods, their wants, right? This is when you're having a conversation with someone, right? Where you're kind of, you can speak to them for a longer duration of time. You would talk to a friend about this stuff. You would talk to a coworker about this type of things. And then when they're talking, when they're having any conversation, you want to use this method, the QRP method, and this means question. So first I ask a question, and that could be about anything up here. So what's an interest of yours? What's a hobby of yours? What's a food of yours? And what's a want of yours? Now that's a boring way of asking that question, because it's more of a taking thing. What's a X from you? So in this kind of sentence, what is a X from you? I'm asking for you to give me an answer, which is kind of taking value. So I'm taking value from you. If I already had value, that would be really good. But if I don't have value in this person's eyes, or even if I want to like boost my own value, I would give a giving statement. And a giving statement would be, what's an X from you? A giving statement would look like, you look like you do X. And you can see how that one is much more statemental. It's much more of a acquisition, an assumption that I put onto you. You look like you do X. And that opens other branches. Why do I look like I do X? What makes you think that? Me? Why this? Right? And then there's a whole bunch of questions that come from that. So it's a much more interesting to how you got to that from just asking, what do you do? And so an actual example of that would look like, so we could do two ways. What's an X from you? So what's a cool hobby from you? Do you play any sports? What foods do you like? Do you like, any type of films or movies? Okay. And then the giving statement example, you look like you like horror movies. You look like you, and horror movies are probably the best to go to. Horror or romance, I would say those are the two. Because you look like you like action films. Yeah, okay, sure.
I don't know. Horror and romance have the most emotion to them. What's You look like you like to play soccer. You look like you like volleyball. You look like you like pizza. Maybe don't use that one because maybe you're inferring they're fat. You look like you work out. You look like, right? Those are much giving statements. Once you're on that conversation, that's how you start the conversation. Or, there's a good way to add a volume if you don't know what you're talking about, or if you run out of things to say. Once the conversation is going, use the QRP method. Question, response, and then personal info. Personal input, and then repeat. So this would go question, do you play any sports? That is a question. Or this could be even a statement too. Do you play any sports? It looks like you play basketball. Statement, and then they're gonna say something back. Yes, no. But then you give a response to whatever they said. And this is going to be very general, but even if you put the response, miss out this response and just put in your personal input, that's fine too. But this is going to be the main thing, and this is going to be the main thing. This in between is just like if there's any gray area. So you look like you like pizza. Or you look like, let's use a better one. You look like you like to play soccer. What made you, like, then you would be like, okay, what gives you that assumption? So there you can't really put in, well, I like to play soccer too, right? He kind of just skipped over the question that they had. So if they have any questions, then you respond to that. What made you think that? It's just the vibe you give off, right? It could be, it's literally any stupid answer you say. You just want words to come out of your mouth. It's the vibe you have. It's your hair. It has nothing to do with anything. And then they'll say something, and then you can put in personal input. Yeah, I used to play soccer house league when I was a kid, but I always used to be in goalie, and I would be so bored in goalie that I just started picking the grass and like doing cartwheels in my own end of the field. And you say that with a bit more energy. You say that, how you're feeling in the conversation. And something like that's going to be, very pleasant. It's going to be very charismatic that you're able to tell that little bit of a story about yourself. First of all, that was just a little story. It showed authenticity. It showed a little bit about yourself, that you do play sports. I guess when you're younger. But that's the personal input. And then you repeat. So then you would say that personal input, see if they say anything back. If they don't, then you just go back to this question, statement, and then you kind of repeat, and that's how the conversation usually goes. Of course, there's going to be more nuance. The longer the conversation goes, the more that you're putting into the conversation, the more things that can build. You can have inside jokes within the conversation. You can have callbacks, and this all happens, very quickly. But it is how socially adept you are, and like how fast you can think on your feet while in a conversation, how loose you can be in a conversation, how in the moment you can be in a conversation. This only comes with practice. That's just talking. Now, while you're talking, you talking to a guy, talking to a girl, you also, if you are talking to someone that you're interested, you want to be flirting with them a bit. And now this is going to be man to woman. So if I'm just talking about your hobbies, this is very nice, very surface level. We want to make it man to woman. Man to woman is basically like, when a conversation is man to woman. You know when it's just friendly, and then when it's a guy and he like, it is a conversation with a little bit of sex in it. There's a little bit of sex when it comes to a man to woman conversation. There's a little bit of danger and there's a little bit of edge to the conversation. There's tension in the man to woman conversation. So this is why you may see a guy and a girl fighting, and you'll feel sexual tension building. Like you won't even be in the conversation, but if you're fighting with a man, or if you see a man and a woman fighting, in a kind of playful way, not an actual like harmful way, but like in a little bit of a way where there's that undertone of sex. Like, it is very captivating. You don't have to argue with a woman to make it man to woman, though. The way you're going to do this is by making push pulls, so teases and compliments, and innuendos if you're ever going to want to make something sexual. So if you're going to refer to something sexual, use an innuendo. These are more socially explicit, not explicit, the non-explicit. They keep things under the radar a bit, right? And you're not being super, I'm gonna dick you down tonight. It's like, whoa, that's a bit much, right? And so instead you would make an innuendo. An example is, when I was at my work, one of my coworkers was trying to put something in this like slot. You have to take a piece of paper, you have to put it in a slot, and the paper was too big, like it wasn't fitting in the slot. And she just went, it's too big. And I did, without even saying anything, I just looked at her, gave her like a really kind of look, and like she laughed, like from the gut, because that is a very funny thing to say. Not even to say, just to imply without saying anything. And so the message got across, but I didn't even say a word. So that is a very non-explicit innuendo, something that's super under the radar. It shows wit, shows humor, it shows that you can be sexual without taking it like to an extreme. You're comfortable with sexuality, but you're not like overbearing about it. And so that good things come from these innuendos whenever you can pull it. That's what she said. Kind of an innuendo, a bit more on the nose, but stuff like that. A man to woman. This also can be understood in the tonality that you're taking on. So when I'm talking to you, does it feel that sexual? I don't really think so. Maybe my voice is just that not naturally hot, but I don't think it sounds that sexual. But when I'm but if you're talking to a girl, and if I'm talking to a girl and I'm trying to make it very sexual, so I'm not gonna talk to her like all that, like all the time, like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna, oh yeah. But if you are, and there are good times for this, then you would maintain eye contact, slow, like liquid maple syrup eye contact. You would slow down your voice. You would lower it a little bit. Have a little bit of a grin. Cocky, but confident. And then you would talk slowly, like this. And you would maintain the eye contact. And that is how you can make it man to woman. Now you don't go again over the top, like exaggerating how slow you're going, how maple syrup you're getting with your eyes, but do it to a certain degree where it's noticeable. And that is going to make a man to woman frame too. So you can do it, and that's a more indirect way. The more direct way is, the most direct way is saying, hey, I like you. I find you cute, want to go. I like you, I find you pretty, want to go out. Like, that's super direct, super man to woman. But the downside with that is she doesn't get to see who you are. And so if you can demonstrate a confident, high value personality before you ask her out, she's much more likely to say yes. And with that, boys, I basically think that is everything on how to talk to a girl. Again, the first 3 steps are going to be the most important before you talk to her, because if you ignore those beginning steps and you just start with this stuff, you're going to get bad reactions, and those bad reactions are going to lower your confidence even more. So I recommend getting the basics down and then practicing this stuff. It's going to first give you better reception, and it's going to give you more confidence. And so you either are below the line or you are above the line. And if you are below the line, meaning you ignore the first couple opening steps, then every reaction is going to be negative. But if you're above the line, every reaction is going to be more positive. I can't guarantee you it's always going to be positive, and I can't guarantee you it's always going to be negative. Life just does not work like that. People are not like that. But there are definitely ratios. So with that, boys, if you need more help, you can join the Discord. You can book a call with me if you want more one-on-one help. And I love you. Take care. Peace.